Hello guys, welcome to DTW Tutorials. Welcome. Okay, so in today's video I'm quite excited. Okay, this is the first chemistry, in fact anything chemistry, this is the first chemistry content on this channel, so I'm quite excited about this. Okay, and I've done this in collaboration with Miss Ene Abba. Thank you so much, Miss Ene Abba, for supporting DTW Tutorials in achieving this. Okay, because you know I can't do everything, I can't really do everything, so I get support from great people, and this is a great lady. Okay, a great woman. All right, she's also a BSc holder in chemistry education. So okay, so you're going to enjoy this video. All right, and if you have any questions on this video, you can drop your questions in the comment section, and she will also be interacting with you guys on any questions you have, pertaining any questions you don't understand in this video. Okay, so I'm so excited. So all I need from you guys now is to share to your friends, your family, your loved ones preparing for the forthcoming Jamb 2021 exam. Okay, so share on your Facebook groups, on your WhatsApp group, Telegram groups, everywhere. Please share in your schools, share with your friends to help them prepare for their forthcoming Jamb 2021 exam. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because it also helps in promoting this video to several viewers on YouTube. Okay, that's what it does. All right, so please give this video a thumbs up, and also please a shout out, also a comment on anything you don't understand or any questions. Please feel free to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so please share. That's all I need from you. We've sat down, done this video, editing, recording, a lot of work to this. Please share so it can get to a lot of students out there. All right, so I forgot to introduce, please, if this is your first time on this channel, DTW Tutorials is an educational channel on YouTube where we support students preparing for their various exams, Jamb, WAEC, GCE, name it, your junior WAEC. Okay, and also I always forget to mention it, there's a junior, that's for your common entrance students, you know, from your, let's say, primary 4, primary 5. There's a separate YouTube channel on that, which I'm still working on, but there are contents on it, common entrance contents on it. Okay, so you could also share that with your junior ones. If you have any junior one in primary school, share that channel. It's called DTW Tutorials. There's a junior added to it. If you search on YouTube, just search DTW Tutorials Junior, you get to see contents for primary school students there. Okay, and what else? Okay, I also want to introduce you to DTW Tutorials Facebook group, where we do online tutorials on several subjects. Okay, subjects I've not done on the YouTube channel, we do tutorials there. Your you know, your English, your commerce, your economics, physics, chemistry, of course, biology, of course. We do tutorials on the Facebook group there, so I'll leave the link to the Facebook group in the video description box of this video, so you can check that out later and join. Okay, and share. Also invite your friends to join. We've started serious active tutorials on the group. Okay, and one more thing to introduce you to is DTW Educational Consult. Okay, I do educational consulting for students that want to study abroad in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus. All right, universities, you want to do your MSc, you want to do your undergraduate, that's your BSc in medicine, and in several other courses. Okay, let me just take you to that page to just give you a brief 2-minute explanation. Okay, and we'll get into the video now. I'm introducing you to one of our services we do. That's our DTW Educational Consult. Okay, registered in Nigeria. Okay, we help students secure admission abroad, and majorly in Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus university. And these schools, they accept. You don't need Jamb, you don't need your IETLS, you know, English exams. All you just need is your WAEC certificate. So no matter the country you are in currently, just your WAEC certificate. As far as you have your 5 credits and your 5 compulsory, you know, your subject for the different courses. Okay, and we can quickly just go through this. So we can quickly go through this text here. All right, so these are courses. All right, over 70 bachelor and master degree courses available in Ukrainian and Russian universities, and these are the fees per year. Okay, All right, so if your parents can afford it, you can just go abroad to school. Because I know I think in Madonna University, any medicine, I think medicine about 1.5, 1.7 million, and that's like over almost $3,000. All right, so if your parents can pay for you to go to a private university, this is just Madonna. I've not spoken of Covenant University and which other university again, Babcock. I've not spoken on their own fees. So if your parents can afford this, so why not you just go abroad and study? And the certificate will be recognized all over the world. You can go abroad and study if your parents can afford it. So it's almost close to the same you pay here in Nigeria. All right, so if your parents can afford it, you can go there and you study in English. All right, if you want to study in Russia, you can do a first year a prep course to learn Russian. But if you don't want, then you study in English. All right, you can see the courses, the prices year by year. Okay, for several courses, you can quickly just go to the DTW site and go through the prices. Okay, now this is admission procedure. Just go through this. All you need to do is submit your application. Okay, you have to sign agreement. All you need to do is just go through all this to apply for your student visa. Later you can just browse through all this. If you need more information, you can just send us an email. All right, send me an email and I'm going to respond to you, and we proceed from there. Okay, so if you're interested to study abroad, all right, your parents can finance it, you can just send me an email at that link. I'll leave the link to that page I went to in the video description box of this video. So thank you so much. And also, I always tell students, don't forget, and tell everyone, don't forget that Jesus Christ is coming soon. Give your life to Christ, for He is the way, He's the truth, He's the life. He's the one who's going to give you that power to succeed. He's the one who gives the power in the destined to win. He's the one who gives that power for you to be destined to win, okay, in life and in your forthcoming exams. And all He just needs from you is just to live a holy and righteous life and accept Him as your Lord and personal Savior, okay? He is coming soon. Please give your life to Christ. Okay, from us, from DTW Tutorials, don't forget that you are destined to win. All right, so let's get on to solving these questions now.
So this is Jamb 2020 chemistry question 1. It says, which of the following substance is not a heterogeneous mixture? A, flood water, B, writing ink, C, soft drink, and D, filtered seawater. Now we know that a mixture is a substance that is physically combined together, okay, and can be separated by physical means and not chemical means. So there is a typo in this question. The question should not have had not, because 3 options here, B, C, and D, are all homogeneous mixtures. Okay, so they're homogeneous because you can separate them. You cannot separate them with your physical eyes, right? A mixture cannot be separated by any physical means, but we have mixtures that once you see them, you can tell their constituents, what makes them up, their components. But writing ink is a mixture, but you can't separate it with your physical eyes. Soft drink like your Coke and Fanta cannot be separated. Or filtered seawater also cannot. But you have flood water. Flood water can be separated. When you see flood water, you see mud, you see dirt, you see wraps, and you can tell the difference between, oh, this is what and what is in this flood water. So the question should have been, which of the following substance is a heterogeneous mixture? And that is flood water. Heterogeneous mixture, you can see them and separate it, while homogeneous mixture, you cannot. Okay, so the answer for the question should be A, that is, which one is a heterogeneous mixture, and that is flood water. Jamb 2020 chemistry question 2. Calculate the number of moles of hydrogen ion present in 1 dm cube of 0.5 mole solution of H2SO4. So to solve this, we write out the equation of reaction. This is H2SO4. When this dissociates in water, gives us 2 moles of hydrogen ion plus SO4 2 minus. Now we can see that this is 1 mole of H2SO4 dissociating to give us 2 moles, and this is 1 mole. So, but we are not concerned with this one, just this. So if 1 mole of H2SO4 gives us 2 moles of hydrogen ion. How many moles of hydrogen ion with 0.5 mole give us? That's equals to X. When you cross multiply maths, you have 0.5 times 2, okay, divided by 1 equals to X. When you do this gives you 1.0 mole. Okay, but you know that, see, this is in 1 dm cube. Okay, so we have to convert that to cm cube. So this is 1 mole times 1 dm cube, which is the same thing as 1000 cm cube all over 1000. So if I strike this is still, we are still left with what? 1 mole. So our answer is what? 1.0 mole. That is option A. 1.0 mole of hydrogen ion is present in 1 dm cube of 0.5 mole solution of H2SO4. Question 3, Jamb 2020 chemistry question. Given that the mass of a gas occupies 1 dm cube at 300 Kelvin, at what temperature will its volume be doubled, keeping the pressure constant? Okay, so from this we can see that the volume of our gas is what? 1 dm cube, while my temperature is 300 Kelvin. So at what temperature will the volume be doubled? So this is T2 will be what? That's what we're looking for. So this will automatically be T1. This will be V1. Okay, will the volume be doubled? So if V1 is 1 dm cube and we're doubling it, that means V2 is 2 dm cube. Okay, so we have V1, T1, V2. We're looking for T2. Which gas law combines this? It's Charles' law. We know that Charles' law states that the volume of a fixed mass of gas is directly proportional to the temperature, provided pressure is kept constant. So that means the formula for Charles' law is V1 over T1 equals to V2 over T2. So when we're looking for T2, so V1 is what? 1 dm cube, right? But you know we have to convert that to cm cube. So that is 1000 cm cube. No, 1 dm cube is the same thing as 1000 cm cube. All over T1, 300 Kelvin, equals to V2 is what? 2000 cm cube, all over T2. That's what we are looking for. So when you cross multiply, T2 becomes 2000 times 300 all over 1000. So T2 here gives us 600 Kelvin. So the answer for option 3 is B, 600 Kelvin. Number 4, Chemistry Jamb 2020. For iodine crystals to sublime on heating, the particles must acquire energy that is what? Okay, so we know that sublimation is the ability of an element or a substance, to move directly from the solid state to the liquid state without first passing solid state to the gas state, solid to gas, without passing through the liquid phase. That is sublimation. Okay, so now for this to happen, now sublimation occurs in iodine crystals. So how does it happen? Iodine crystals are held together by van der Waals forces, and we know that van der Waals force is a weak force. Van der Waals force is a weak force. Okay, so for this to happen, the iodine crystals must possess energy that is greater than the force of attraction in both the liquid and gas phase. It has to possess energy that is greater than this phase and this phase to move directly to the gas phase. That's how sublimation occurs. So the answer to this is option A. The iodine crystal must possess energy that is what? Greater than the force of attraction in both the solid phase and the liquid phase. Answer is option A. Jamb 2020 question 5. IS2, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. The reaction of E with a halogen Y can give us what? So we want to see what reacting this with an halogen, reacting this with an halogen would give us. So let's see what is the atomic number of these elements. This is 2 plus 2, 4, plus 6, 10, plus 2, 12, plus 3, 15. So this has an atomic number of 15. What element has an atomic number of 15? Phosphorus. So this is what? P. With this atomic number 15. That is 285. Now halogens, this is E. Then our halogen is represented by Y. And we know halogens are group 7 elements. That means they have 7 in their outermost shell. So let's say chlorine, for instance, that's 17. Having 7 in its outermost shell. Chlorine. Okay, that is 287. Now, what's the valency of this? This has valency of 5 and 3. This has valency of 1. The valency is the combining power of an element. So this, when this and this wants to react, for instance, you would have this having valency 3 reacting with Y. So if this cross multiply, you have EY3. Okay, now if this reacts with a valency of 5, remember halogens also still have valency of 1. This becomes, when they cross multiply, this becomes EY5. Just so example is PCl3 and PCl5. So this can go into reaction with EY3 and what? EY5. So our answer is option D. EY3 and EY5. Question 6. Jamb 2020 chemistry. While the difference in electronegativity between bonded atoms increases, the polarity of the bond what? So when the electronegativity is increasing, what happens to the polarity of the bond? Now we know that electronegativity is the ability of an electron to accept, of an element to accept electrons. For instance, chlorine 287 accepts what? 1 electron to attain stability. Okay, so chlorine is an electronegative element. So the question is, when there is a difference in the electronegativity between bonded atoms and it is increasing, what happens to the polarity? Now, bond polarity is used in describing the sharing of electrons between atoms in a covalent bond. The sharing of electrons between atoms in a covalent bond. So we know covalent bond as a type of bond alongside electrovalent or van der Waals, ionic bonding and all of that. So in covalent bonding, there is sharing of electrons between the participating atoms. Now, these elements don't share atoms equally. Okay, so a polar covalent bond, the electrons are shared equally between the two atoms, but that's a non-polar covalent bond. The electrons are shared equally between the two atoms, but a polar covalent bond, one atom has a greater affinity to the electrons than the other atom. Okay, so when there is difference in electronegativity and it increases, the polarity of the bond increases as well. Okay, when the difference in electronegativity between bonded atoms increases, the polarity of the bond increases as well. So answer to question 6 is A, increases. Question 7, Jamb 2020 chemistry. Elements P, Q, and R belong to group 1, 5, and 7 respectively. Which of the following is true about the bond size between PQ and QL? So elements P is belonging to group 1. So example of this could be sodium, potassium. Elements Q belongs to group 5. Group 5. Element Q belongs to group 5. So example of these elements is nitrogen and phosphorus. Okay, and element R belongs to group 7. Group 7 are halogens. So we have fluorine, chlorine, for instance. Okay, so they say what kind of bond types will be between PQ and QR. So if you see the kind of elements involved, you would know that PQ is electrovalent. The kind of bond that will be formed between PQ is electrovalent, and QR is covalent. So answer for number 7 is B. PQ is electrovalent and QR is covalent bond. Option B. Question 8. The diagram above will be used for determining the amount of what? What would this diagram above be used to determine? So if you see the diagram above, you would see that there is anhydrous calcium chloride, air in and air out. Now this anhydrous calcium chloride is a drying agent. A drying agent. So it is hygroscopic. Okay, it is used to draw in water molecules. Okay, so this means that, and you know, drying agents, they draw water molecules or moisture from the environment. So this is water vapor. Option is water vapor. Okay, because anhydrous calcium chloride here is present, and it's used to dry water vapor, condensation as well, condensed water and moisture from the environment. So this is used to determine the amount of water vapor in the air. Option D. Answer is option D, question number 8. Question number 9. The major effect of oil pollution in coastal waters is the what? Now we know that pollution is the presence of harmful substances in air, water, or land. Okay, so the effect of oil pollution, that's oil spills in water, what is the effect? Now, some of you might think is increase in acidity of the water. Yes, oil spillage in water increases the acidity, but it's not a negative effect because some marine life actually benefits from that little increase in the acidity, like plankton. This hardens their shells and makes them stronger. Okay, so the negative effect of this oil pollution will be destruction of marine life. Generally, marine life suffer because oil spills reduces the amount of air in the water. Okay, and we all know we need air to breathe. Okay, so even marine life as well. So the answer to this is option C, destruction of marine life. That is the major effect of oil pollution in coastal water. Question 10. Determine the pH of a 2.50 times 10 raised to minus 5 mole solution of potassium hydroxide. Now we know that pH runs from 0 to 14. Okay, 0 to 6 being acid, 7 is neutral, while 8 to 14 is basic. Okay, and we know that potassium hydroxide is a base, so definitely the answer will fall between 8 to 14. But let's calculate this first. Okay, so solving this, you have H plus OH minus, this is 10 raised to power equals to 10 raised to power minus 14. So POH equals to 10 raised to power minus 14. This is maths. Over the answer given to us, 2.5 times 10 raised to power minus 5. From your indices, you remember 1 over 2.5 times 10 raised to power minus 14 minus 5. This gives us 1 over 2.5 times 10 raised to power minus 9. Okay, this is 2 over 5 times 10 raised to power minus 9. When you divide this, you get 0.4 times 10 raised to power minus 9. So eliminate this decimal point is 4 times 10 raised to power minus 10. But we're not there yet. We're looking for the pH. So POH equals to log 10 of 4.0 times 10 raised to power minus 10. So solving this, you have minus log 10 4.0 plus log 10 10. Okay, so this is 10. We have to rearrange this. 10 log 10 minus log 10 4. This is 10 minus 4.0. That's this 4.0 here. So log 10 here is what? 0.692. Okay, and this gives us 9.398. So POH is this. So when you approximate, you get 9.4 approximately. So the answer is option B. When you determine the pH of a 2.50 times 10 per minus 5 molar solution of potassium hydroxide, gives us 9.4, option B. Number 11. In the electroplating of a metal M with silver, in the process, the metal is B what? So we know electroplating is plating of a metal with another by hydrolysis, mostly to prevent corrosion of that metal or for decorative purpose. So we want to plate a metal M with silver. So what would happen is the metal M has to be the cathode, okay, and a direct current is used. So answer is option B. Okay, in the electroplating of the metal M with silver, in the process, the metal M is the cathode and a direct current is used. Answer is option B for number 11. Question 11. The only process that leads to increase in entropy from the following is what? Okay, here we see that we know the options here are boiling of a sample of water, mixing a sample of NaCl and sand, condensation of water vapor, cooling a saturated solution. We know that entropy is the measure of randomness of a system. Entropy here is measure of randomness of a system. So which of these has the highest randomness? Is boiling of a water sample. So when you boil the sample, the measure of randomness in that particle increases. It has the highest, leads to an increase in entropy. So answer for number 12 is option A, boiling a sample of water. Number 13, Jamb 2020 chemistry question number 13. 2 moles of carbon oxide reacts with oxygen to give you 2 moles of carbon dioxide. In the above reaction, the standard heat of formation of CO and CO2 are these. So from the question they gave us, standard heat of formation is for CO is 2 as carbon monoxide minus 297 kilojoule per mole. For carbon dioxide is minus 396 kilojoule per mole. So they're asking us for the heat change of the reaction. Okay, now see that we have 2 moles here, so you have to multiply this. So 2 times minus 297 to get the standard heat of formation, because we have 2 moles here. See in the reaction you have 2 moles here, you have 2 moles here. So this 2 times minus 297 gives us minus 594. Then 2 kilojoule per mole. Okay, then 2 times minus 396 gives us minus 792 kilojoule per mole. Then heat change, we know heat change is the heat of the product minus the heat of the reactant. Heat of product minus heat of reactant. Okay, so this is heat of product is what? Minus 792. Heat of reactant is minus 594. Let's put this in brackets. So this gives us minus 1. We know that minus is plus. So it gives us minus 198 kilojoule per mole. So answer is option C, minus 197 kilojoule per mole. That is the heat change of the reaction. Option C, minus 198 kilojoule per mole. Question 14, Jamb 2020. The rate law obtained for a given reaction is expressed as this. The overall order of the reaction becomes what? How do we get the overall order of the reaction? Okay, so here let's write this out. R equals to rate law, we know that already. K is the rate constant. K is the rate constant. Okay, X is what? The concentration of the species X. Concentration of species X. Okay, while N is the order. N is the order with respect to species X. With respect to S. Okay, for this one, Y is the concentration of species Y. of species Y. Okay, M is the order with respect to Y. Order with respect to species Y. Okay, so the overall order of the reaction is adding the reaction orders with respect to their reactants. So this is the order respect to X, order respect to Y. So the overall order is adding what these two individual orders with respect to X and Y. So that's N plus M. That's option D. 14 answer is option D, N plus M. N plus M. Okay, question number 15. Jamb 2020 said the gas liberated from the oxidation of concentrated hydrochloric acid with manganese 4 oxide is used in what? Okay, so let's write out the reaction, shall we? We have concentrated hydrochloric acid plus manganese 4 oxide. This will give us manganese chloride plus 2 moles of water, balancing the reaction, 2 moles of water, okay, plus Cl2. So this is the gas. Okay, so that is what? Chlorine. So the gas liberated is chlorine. Now what can we use chlorine for? We know we use chlorine for the sterilization of water. We add it to pools. Okay, so the answer is option A. For treatment of goiter, we use iodine. For vulcanization of rubber, we use sulfur. Okay, but for the treatment of water, we use what? Chlorine. So the gas liberated is used for sterilizing chlorine. So answer is option A, sterilization of water. Question 16, Jamb 2020, question 16. In the above reaction, equilibrium reaction, an increase in temperature would what? We know that an equilibrium reaction is one in which the rate of forward reaction equals the rate of backward reaction. So for this equilibrium reaction, when you increase the temperature, it favors forward reaction. More of the reactants would react to produce more products. So increasing the temperature of this equilibrium reaction favors the forward reaction. So that is option B. Increasing the temperature favors forward reaction. Option B. Question 17, Jamb 2020. A filtered paper soaked in lead ethanoate solution will turn black in the presence of what? A filtered paper soaked in lead ethanoate solution will turn black in the presence of what? Now, lead acetate paper, okay, is used to detect hydrogen sulfide. We use this to detect the presence of hydrogen sulfide. So when you soak it in lead ethanoate solution, okay, we use it to detect and it turns black. That shows the presence of hydrogen sulfide gas in that solution. So answer is option C, hydrogen sulfide gas. Okay, so Jamb 2020 question 18. Which of the following is an aromatic compound? So we know aromatic compounds are hydrocarbons and they are divided into saturated hydrocarbons, unsaturated hydrocarbons, and aromatic hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are alkanes, that's the single bonds. Unsaturated are alkenes and alkynes, double bonds and triple bonds respectively. Okay, then the third one is aromatic compound, that's the benzene family. Aromatic compound, that's the benzene family. No, alkanes will have cyclic alkanes and acyclic alkanes. Cyclic and acyclic alkanes, these ones are what? Ring-like. Okay, these ones are straight chains. Alkanes are double bonds. These are triple bonds. So these are benzene family. So which one is an aromatic compound? This is hexanol. Option A is hexanol. Has an OH group attached to it, so it's not an aromatic compound. Option B is cyclohexane chloride. Cyclohexane chloride. Okay, this is a cyclic alkane. It's not an aromatic compound. Option C is hexane. That's the sixth member of the alkane family. But option D is phenol. Option D is phenol, which is a benzene family. So let me draw. This is the structure of phenol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. we have here, we have alternating bonds. Aromatic compounds have three double bonds attached. So this is phenol. Okay, phenol. So this is an aromatic compound. So answer is option D. The answer to this is option D. Phenol is an aromatic compound. Question number 19. One of the methods used to convert hard water to soft water is this. So when we learn water, we know that there are basically two types of water: hard water and soft water. The hard water contains appreciable quantity of dissolved minerals like calcium, magnesium, okay, while soft water contains minerals like sodium and salt. Okay, so how do we, and we know that hard water forms scum on clothes when we use them, they don't foam as well. Okay, so but soft water do not have these properties. So how do we convert a hard water to soft water? One, we can use that, we can do boiling, but that's how we convert a temporal hard water. Once we remove a temporal hard water, we use what? Boiling. We can also add baking soda and vinegar, baking soda or vinegar, to convert a hard water to soft water, but we don't have those options here. So the third way which we can convert a hard water to soft water is by ion exchange. Okay, an ion exchange. So the answer is option A. When we use an anion exchange resin, okay, we can convert a hard water to soft water. Answer is option A, 19. The use of an anion exchange resin, option A. Question number 20 for Jamb 2020. Okay, the quantity of electricity that will liberate 0.125 mole of oxygen molecule during the electrolysis of dilute sodium chloride solution is what? So we're looking for the quantity that would liberate 0.125 mole of oxygen. Okay, so you know that the number of Faraday is equal to the change in oxidation state. So here we have 4 Faradays liberate 1 mole of oxygen gas. 4 Faradays liberate 1 mole of oxygen gas. So and 4 Faradays is what? 1 Faraday is 96,500 coulomb. 1 Faraday is 96,500 coulomb. 1 Faraday is 96,500 coulomb. So 4 Faraday is what? 4 times 96,500. That's 4 times 96,500 coulomb. Okay, so that gives us 386,000. Okay, so for 0.125 mole, we'll have what? 386,000 times 0.125. So this gives us 48250. That's 48,250 coulombs. So your answer is what? Yeah, option C. 48,250 coulombs. Answer to question number 20 is option C. 21. Which of these hydrocarbons bonds in air with a sooty flame? A. Ethane, B. Benzene, C. Butane, and D. Propane. So when we burn hydrocarbon in air, we get carbon hydroxide and water. But when we have too much carbon or too little air, you get carbon monoxide instead. Now the color of the flame depends on the kind of carbon compound you are using. If it's a saturated hydrocarbon, you get a clean flame, but an unsaturated hydrocarbon gives you a yellow flame with a black smoke. You know, saturated hydrocarbons, those are alkanes, while unsaturated are alkenes and alkynes. So when there is incomplete combustion, it leads to a sooty deposit and what? Flame. A sooty flame, a sooty deposit. Okay, so here the hydrocarbon that is not saturated is what? Benzene, because the rest are alkanes and they are what? They're saturated hydrocarbons and they produce a clean flame. So just benzene here is the one that would likely to produce a sooty flame. So answer is option B, C6H6 benzene for question number 21. Question number 22. A mixture containing iodine and sulfur crystals can be separated with what? So when you want to separate a crystal containing iodine and sulfur crystals, you separate it using a carbon 4 sulfide to filter off the iodine. So number 22, your answer is A. You separate a mixture containing iodine and sulfur crystals using carbon 4 sulfide. This filters off the iodine. Answer 22, option A. Question 23, Jamb 2020 chemistry question. A compound composed of aluminium, silicon, oxygen, and hydrogen is what? Which of these is composed of aluminium, silicon, oxygen, and hydrogen? Now, Epsom salt here is composed of magnesium, sulfur, and oxygen. So, answer is not Epsom salt. Urea is composed of carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Limestone is composed of calcium, carbon, and oxygen. But clay, we have silicon, alumina, water. And you know water is what? Hydrogen and oxygen. So the answer to question 23 is B. Clay is composed of aluminium, silica, oxygen, and hydrogen. Answer is option B, clay. Question 24. If the partial pressure of oxygen in a sample of air is 452 mm mercury and the total pressure is 780 mm mercury, what is the mole fraction of oxygen? Okay, so the partial pressure here of oxygen is given as 452 mm mercury. The total pressure has been given as 780 mm mercury. So the mole fraction of oxygen is the partial pressure all over the total pressure, which is 452 all over 780. That gives us 0.579. So this is the answer. That's option B. So answer to 24 is option B, 0.579. Number 25. The vapor density of XO2 given as 32 is given as 32. Calculate the atomic mass of X. Vapor density is of XO2 is 32. Calculate the atomic mass of gas. We know that atomic mass, to get atomic mass, you would say 2 times your vapor density. When you're calculating empirical formula, this also comes in as well. Okay, so atomic mass is 2 times vapor density. Now XO2, that's 2 times 32. Okay, so this is what? 64. Okay, but now for this you have X plus 16 times 2. The mass of oxygen is what? 16 times this 2 here. Okay, equals to 64. So X plus 16 times 2 is what? 32 equals to 64. So when you collect like terms, X equals to 64 minus 32. X is 32. So the atomic mass of X is 32. That's option C. 25 is option C, 32. Option 26. 4 elements A, B, C, and D have atomic numbers 2, 6, 16, and 20 respectively. Which of these is a metal? Okay, so you have option A is 2. And what is that? Which element has the atomic number of 2? That's helium. Okay, option B has atomic number of 6, and that is what? Carbon. Option element C has atomic number of 16, and sulfur. S. Option element D has atomic number of 20, and that's calcium. So which of these is a metal? Calcium is a metal. That's element D. So that is A. Answer is A. Element D has with atomic number 20 is a metal. Answer is option A. Okay, this one, methanoic acid is what? Tribasic, monobasic, unionizable D-dibasic. Okay, so you know that the basicity of an acid is the number of replaceable hydrogen atoms present in that molecule. The number of replaceable hydrogen ion atom is referred to as the basicity of an acid. So take for instance HCl, basicity is 1 because it has one replaceable hydrogen atom. You have H2SO4, basicity is what? 2 because it has two replaceable hydrogen atom. You have this basicity is 3 because it has three replaceable hydrogen atoms. So for this one, CH3COOH. When this ionizes, you get CH3COO plus H plus, right? So this is what? Just one replaceable hydrogen ion, and that is what? Monobasic. So this is what? Monobasic. Number 27, answer is B, monobasic. Question number 28. Which of these salts will give a precipitate when treated with sodium hydroxide solution? Now, a precipitate reaction refers to the formation of an insoluble salt when two solutions containing soluble salts are combined. So if you combine two soluble salts, gives you what? A precipitate. So let's take for an example. You have AgNO3, that's silver nitrate plus potassium chloride. These two are soluble salts. This gives us silver chloride plus KNO3. This is soluble salt. This is another soluble salt. Okay, so this is your precipitate. Precipitate. You get it now. So for this one, we are treating which of these salts are we going to treat with this to give us a precipitate? So answer is option B, and let's prove that. You have AlCl3. When you treat this with sodium hydroxide, we're balancing the reaction as well. This gives us 3 moles of sodium chloride plus this. So this is the precipitate that we will form. This is 3. This is the precipitate. So our answer is what? Aluminium chloride. That's option B. This, when reacted with sodium hydroxide, gives us this precipitate. So answer for number 28 is option B. Question number 29. The process whereby a salt loses its water of crystallization to the atmosphere on exposure is called what? The answer is a fluorescence. Efflorescence is when a salt loses its water of crystallization and exposure. Okay. Hygroscopic is when a substance absorbs moisture but does not form solution. Deliquescence is when a substance absorbs moisture from the atmosphere until it dissolves and forms a solution. While fluorescence is when light is emitted by an atom that has already absorbed light or electromagnetic radiation from another source. Effervescence is a formation of gas bubbles in a liquid by chemical reaction. So the answer is efflorescence, option C. Question number 30, Jamb 2020 questions. Which of the following elements can catenate? Carbon, nitrogen, chlorine, or bromine. Which of these can catenate? Now, what's catenate? Catenation is the bonding of an atom of the same element into series called chains. So which of these can catenate? Is carbon. That's why we have what? Hydrocarbons. You have C, the bonding of these same elements, or the atoms of these elements, to form a chain or ring. So the answer is what? Carbon. Carbon is the element here that can catenate. So answer for number 30 is option A, carbon. Question number 31. Which of the only elements from the following that liberates hydrogen from cold water is what? Magnesium, sodium, calcium, or aluminium. Now we know that when metals react with water, a metal hydroxide and hydrogen are formed. Okay, so for example, let's take a metal, sodium, reacting with water. Plus 2 moles of sodium reacting with 2 moles of water. This gives us sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas is given off. Okay, so now the most reactive metal going into reaction with water makes the reaction more rapid. Okay, and here we know that sodium is the most reactive metal. Okay, and that would what? bring bubbles. So sodium here is the answer, option B. It's the only metal that liberates hydrogen from cold water in bubbles. Option B, sodium. Number 32. What is the ratio of carbon to hydrogen to oxygen in carbohydrates? So let's write the formula for carbohydrates. It has the chemical formula CxH2OY. That is C6H12O6. Okay, so that is 6:12:6. When you break this down, you have 1:2:1. So answer is option A, 1:2:1. That is the ratio of carbon to hydrogen to oxygen in carbohydrates. Option A. Number 33. In the dissolution of sugar, the reaction is always accompanied by what? Now, you know that when you're dissolving sugar in tea, there is no chemical bonds that are broken, no new substance is formed. Okay, so the dissolution of sugar is just a physical change. That means there is no entropy change. Entropy is the measure of disorderliness in a system. So there is no what? There's no entropy change. So answer is option D, no entropy change. Number 34. What is the oxidation state of chlorine in HClO4? What's the oxidation state of chlorine in HClO4? So let's write and solve that. Okay, you have H here plus Cl plus oxidation state of oxygen is -2 times 4. Because there is no charge, is equals to 0. This is +1. That's oxidation state of oxygen of hydrogen plus chlorine. That's what we're looking for. Plus -2 times 4. That's -8 equals to 0. So when we open the bracket here, this is +1 minus 8 plus Cl equals to 0. So Cl is what? 8 minus 1. That's what? Plus 7. Okay, so the answer is what? B, plus 7. 35. Which of the allotrope of carbon that is used in the decolorization of sugar? You know that allotrope is the ability of an element to have the same chemical composition but different physical form and different physical properties. Okay, and carbon has an allotrope of diamond, graphite. Okay, also, now which of these ones are used as to decolorize sugar? Okay, we have sugar can be gotten from beets. We have cane sugar, you have beet sugar, you have honey, you have starch sugar. And this sugar, when they are being extracted from the plant, they retain the color components of the raw materials. Okay, so but we can use the allotrope of carbon called activated carbon, that is also called charcoal, to decolorize sugar. So the answer to this is option A, charcoal. Number 36. Vulcanization deals with the removal of what? A monomer, B, double bond, C, single bond, D, a polymer. So vulcanization, we know that is a process where the physical properties of natural or synthetic rubber is being improved. So this is done by heating the rubber with sulfur. When you heat a rubber with sulfur, what you're doing is vulcanizing that rubber, and this helps to improve the stability of the rubber, the elasticity of the rubber, and the strength of that rubber. So when you remove the double bond that is present, okay, by heating it with sulfur, that is what vulcanization is about. So this deals with removal of double bond. So answer to this is option B. Solubility, number 37. The solubility curve illustrates the variation of solute concentration with A, temperature, B, volume, C, pressure, D, vapor density. So the solubility curve helps us to predict which substance will crystallize out first from a solution that contains two or more solutes. Okay, so the variation in solubility of any given substance with the change in temperature is shown by the solubility curve. So the solubility curves uses what? The change in temperature to tell us the variation with the solute concentration. So answer to this is A, temperature. Number 38. Ammonia gas reacts with which of the following to form a white dense film? So ammonia is a very important element. We use it as cleaning product, as a refrigerant gas. We use to purify water supply. We use it for wastewater treatment, also as a fertilizer. So this ammonia gas produces dense white film of ammonium chloride when a glass rod is dipped in hydrogen chloride gas. So here you have the reaction here. You have ammonia when it's dipped in, you use a glass rod and dip it in hydrogen chloride gas. This gives us ammonium chloride. Okay, so it produces a white dense film of ammonium chloride when you dip it in what? Hydrogen chloride gas. So the answer is what? Option C, hydrogen chloride gas. Question 39. The alloy that contains iron from the following is what? So we know that alloys are metallic compounds that are made up of one metal and one or more metal or non-metal. So we have brass here is an alloy as well. It's made up of iron. Brass is made up of copper and zinc. Copper and zinc. Copper and zinc. You have bronze, made up of copper and tin. This is O, copper and tin. You have steel, made up of iron and carbon. You have permalloy, made up of nickel and iron. Okay, you have duralumin, made up of aluminium, copper, manganese and magnesium. So we can see that the answer is D, steel and permalloy. And steel. So option D, steel and permalloy contain iron. Option D. Question 40, Jamb 2020 chemistry question. Which of these is an unsaturated hydrocarbon? We know that hydrocarbons are compounds that comprises of hydrogen and carbon, and they are divided into three: saturated, unsaturated, and aromatic. Saturated hydrocarbons are alkanes, while unsaturated are alkanes and alkynes. They have double and triple bonds, while aromatic are the benzene family. So this is alkanes and alkynes, that's for unsaturated. Then the benzene family are aromatic hydrocarbons. So the question here is, which of these is an unsaturated hydrocarbon? That we're just looking for an alkane or an alkyne in the option. Butanol is not, pentane is not, propene is our answer because it's an alkene, it has double bond. So the answer to this is option D, propene.